What is up, BattleBots fans? Hardcore Kid here with a new episode of the Hardcore Podcast. To my left, as always, I have Otaku Nate.
It's time! It's time! It's robot fighting time!
And joining us, we have a few Roboteers / BattleBots fans, starting with ResettisReplicas.
Hey, that's me.
Ryan Beaver.
Hey, what's up?
And making his debut on the Hardcore Podcast, you may know him as one of the other guys I had in my Fritz the Cat review from, 20 years ago? And he's also a Roboteer. He competes with Maniac Kathy and Swamp Woman. It is Joey.
What's up, everyone?
Hey, good to have you on here.
Hey.
Yeah, good to be on here.
Yep, so, ladies and gentlemen, at long last, we have a brand spanking new season of BattleBots.
And boy, if this episode is anything to go by, this is gonna be a great season.
Yeah, I mean...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We waited. Everybody was anxiously waiting for Season 3. They said, hashtag, give us Season 3, ABC.
We want Season 3 is,
We won Season 3.
We want Season 3, but ABC wouldn't give it to us. Until eventually, the Science Channel decided to air episodes of the last 2 seasons of BattleBots. And then Discovery decided, hey, this show looks really cool. Let's air it. Let's give us Season 3. That's what everyone wants.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
I feel that Discovery is actually the ideal home because we're now reaching the more science crowd, unlike the more dramatic people of the ABC channel.
yeah, it makes more sense too, because BattleBots, it isn't exactly a show that you would really see on Comedy Central or ABC. Science Channel and Discovery is like something it's more niche to.
You know, I'm wondering if Science Channel could potentially get rights to Robot Wars too to go with BattleBots.
You know, there are actually quite a few networks over there in the UK that are interested in picking up Robot Wars, and you know what? It could happen. I mean, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Fox canceled it, and then only a few hours later, NBC picked it right up. So,
hey, they canceled Scrubs. What channel was Scrubs on? I don't watch a lot of television.
Was it Comedy Central?
That was NBC and then ABC.
Yeah. NBC canceled it. ABC picked it up.
Yep. So, hey, it's possible. Never say never.
Let's just hope all that rumor and innuendo is true, as Conrad Thompson says.
Yeah. So, this is the BattleBots Season 3 premiere, or the Season 8 premiere, whichever you want to call it. And lots of big differences for this show, but also a few things that haven't changed.
Yeah, we've got... This time around, though, we don't have a female hostess. Samantha Ponder is gone, and this time around, we have the commentators hosting it, Chris Rose and MMA fighter Kenny Florian.
And we weren't really that big a fan of Kenny and Rose back in the first 2 seasons. It seemed like they were too naive.
Well, to me, it just seemed like they were trying too hard,
but I think
overselling everything. I said prior to the season that Stefan Frank would be a step up from these two.
Yeah. But this season, I think they've gotten better.
Yeah, they seem to know what they're actually talking about. I mean, the one thing my mom wouldn't stop yammering about was that they called a robot's weapon a thingy. That's like, come on, Jonathan Pierce does that all the time. We can let that one slide. They're still saying primary weapon though.
Oh God, main weapon.
Yeah, just glad they didn't bring on George Takei if they're calling it a thingy.
Oh.
Oh my.
Oh my.
What do you guys think of the commentators in this episode?
I think they want to share their excitement, and they've really done a good job of learning. I don't know, midway through season 1, I think they hit a turning point. Like, I was thinking, all right, nice, they really know their stuff.
Yep. Joey?
Oh, yeah. They have improved a lot, and they've been waiting for a long time. And Kenny said, they've been waiting for 2 years, and boom, we got season 3.
Everything clicked.
Yep. You know what also clicked? The pacing of this episode. The biggest problem I had with the episodes in the last 2 seasons was that it was always a lot of talking, too much talking, not enough fighting.
Padding.
Yeah.
Padding.
Just like Godzilla movies.
Yeah, but here, this episode, it starts off immediately. Blacksmith and Bite Force are in the box, and they have Kenny and Chris just there talking and having just saying how the format's gonna go. They didn't have like all these extended talking segments outside. That there were some interviews and such, but
some brief promos.
yeah, and in the end, we only ended up with like 4 matches. But this year, we get 5 matches, although technically 6, because we actually have a bonus match, which unfortunately wasn't in this version of the episode, but it is going to be on the Science channel airing on Wednesday, and we're actually going to be covering that bonus match along with the second episode. So, because it's just we got to be fair, especially since it has Ed Robinson in it.
Yeah, we're hoping to get Ed on the
yeah.
on the show.
Yeah, especially we'll talk. We're gonna have him. We'll talk about Sharkopian and also his Extreme Warriors matches when we cover them. But yeah, 5 matches, little bit of talking here and there, and
we have to
good pacing. I think it. Let's also talk about the format of this entire tournament.
Actually, before we
way.
move on, I just want to give a shout out to the other major figurehead on this show, Farouk Tahid.
Yes,
Oh,
Farouk is amazing.
He is great. I mean, I think between Mark Biro and Farouk, I think Farouk is way too heavy-handed with the puns. I like Mark Biro's sort of laid-back approach, but when it comes to getting you hyped up for the fight, you want Farouk.
Yes,
he sells it like there's no tomorrow.
Yeah. I like Farouk for the hype, but I like Mark Beer for the more professionalism he has.
Yeah.
So I think both are fantastic. So I think that both definitely do the job that they are given incredibly well, and they have so much fun with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's awesome. I mean, I was disappointed that they didn't get Roy Helen to do it, but as soon as but after listening to Farouk doing all these intros, I'm a Farouk guy.
I was a Farouk guy when halfway through season 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, I honestly really enjoy them.
So we have a new format now, and Brandon, could you please explain it, because I know nothing.
Basically, it's what's known as a modified Swiss format. Basically, every competitor robot is given 4 matches, and depending on how many matches they win, they get points. And the 16 robots, I believe, who get
the top 16,
who have the most points, move on to a single elimination format.
It's like the NBA and NHL seasons, where you have like all these teams competing, but only the top 16 make the cut.
Yeah, like I've been to a few
Well, it's
events.
more like football based on the violence and number they can really have.
More like it's in line with hockey.
Yeah, I think it's fair because it also works because it actually gives, because like if you lose your match, you still have a good chance, and it also allows every machine a little bit more limelight. So if you lose a match, you still get 3 more matches. You can show off what your robot is capable of doing.
Yeah, it also means that you're not instantly dead just because you got Tombstone in your first fight.
Parity is a magical thing. That's Parity, not parity. Parity.
Yeah. I'm going to be honest when I say I think that Modified Swiss is actually my personal favorite format when it comes to tournaments, because it just gives you a lot, especially in like live events, because it just gives you more chances to fight.
Exactly. Like the Mass Destruction event up in Massachusetts does it. The Sword event in Williamsport, Pennsylvania does it as well. It's a lot of fun. So I think that pretty much covers the basics of Season 3/8. Let's move on to the matches.
Oh, boy.
Woo-hoo.
And we start off with a sizzler. Bite Force versus New Jersey's own Blacksmith.
You know, Bite Force, Paul Ventimiglia, is also originally from New Jersey. He's from Wayne. Right up here in Wayne.
Nice.
Interesting.
Local hero.
Yeah, a little fun fact. I went to the Toys R Us in Wayne to get some BattleBots toys, and I got a thing of Bite Force as well. You know, that push thing.
Yeah.
Alas, the Toys R Us has been closed.
I guess we should talk about the machines since we didn't do a proper preview. But...
Yeah, because we were going to do a preview, but I've been sick for like the past month, so I wasn't able to do it. But we will, of course, talk about the 2015 champion Bite Force, which it's basically the same as it was last year.
They pulled a napalm from Series 3. Like, all the...
You don't need to do a complete rebuild like
I know,
like
but
Season 10
you
or
could
whatever.
at least make it look as if you actually repaired it.
Yeah, didn't it still have some scratched paint?
Yeah, it still had the scratches from Season 2.
You know, it is actually... it may still look the same as it was last year, but under the hood, it's completely different setup. They're using mag motors instead of E-Techs.
I do not know what those are, Brandon. Could you please inform me?
Basically, they're different drive motors.
Oh, I hope, please, we'd best pray that it doesn't pull an Apex.
I don't know. Isn't mag motors a step backwards since they're older?
I think they have a bit more power. I don't.
We'll have to ask Paul Ventimiglia about it.
Yeah. But besides, I think E-Tech for drive seems like a little overkill, doesn't it?
Wasn't there like a robot that tried using E-Techs for drive motors and it failed?
The only one I know is there are a couple that have. I know Introverter from Obotica used E-Techs for drive.
Ugh.
Lycan from I think Lycan from season 2 of BattleBots used E-Techs for drive. I'm not entirely sure about that, but yeah, it's very weird how a lot of machines like to use these motors that you usually use for weapons, like Russ Barrow, he who drives Dark Pummeler and Dark Pounder. He has like these drive motors that uses like outrunners, brushless outrunners, but they have gearboxes from 1000 RPM drive motors for Beetleweights. It's crazy. It's really cool. But Bite Force, it's more or less the same. Before they aired this episode, they showed the grand final from from the 2015 BattleBots, and I still like the new Bite Force is fine, but I still have feelings for
I do too. I'm sorry, but you just can't go wrong with a good control bot.
Yeah, and especially.
Yeah, plus I feel like the name Bite Force fits more with the Clamper robot. So
yeah. Anything else you got? What do you think of Bite Force?
I mean, it's kind of. At first, I was kind of rooting for him because I go to the same school that he graduated from, and he sponsored my robot. But admittedly, I was actually rooting for Blacksmith this whole fight just because of the fact this last term was hell. So
yeah.
But yeah, I noticed I did have some kind of cover for the chain though this time around.
Yeah.
Well, of course, because when you're fighting a hammer who can take out your chain, you got to protect that beast.
It's the anti-chomp device. Before there's a big thread about how Bite Force cheated in the shunt posting group.
How?
Yeah, we'll probably get to Chomp it another time, but I will say I have gained a lot more respect for that robot. But anyway.
Yeah. Anything else to say about Bite Force? I'll take that as a no. Yeah, so let's talk about Al Kindling. Nerk's very own Al Kindle with Blacksmith, a new and improved Blacksmith. It
looks a lot more sturdy this time.
A lot more sturdy. It's got the little wedges at the front. It's
the hammer especially looks way more improved. Like
it's got the wobble going on so that it won't snap.
Yeah.
It has those 2 spikes on the hammer. Last time they just didn't have anything, just the flamethrower.
Oh, I think they had actually a little spike at each corner of the hammerhead.
Yeah, that I really didn't think that'd be too effective because it just really spread out the impact of the hit more. Whereas this feels like it's more concentrated into more singular points.
It sadly won't be able to do much damage against a heavily armored machine like Bite Force.
I thought it was doing okay against Bite Force. It was able to get some good shots in with the hammer.
Yeah,
I I was impressed it managed to jam the spinner. So
that wowed me. That got major points for me.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's Al Kindle doing the driving. The weapon operator is Alan Young, no relation to Apollo's Alan Young. He but Alan has built his own flipper, Upheaval, which won a whole ton of Motorama events.
I was there when Upheaval's streak got conquered.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but
what happened to it?
I guess I decided. I guess I don't know. I think Alan thought it was hard to maintain, or he was tired of winning.
Yeah, was the undefeated sportsman robot for years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still remember that one fight when people was facing the sportsman robot Lockjaw, and Lockjaw had punctured people's air tank, and people had to forfeit the next fight when he was in the loser's bracket.
Yeah.
That was something. People were just cheering like crazy when they heard that noise.
When you hear that, it's a sound to go, yay!
Yeah. But just for clarification, this Lockjaw has no relation to the Lockjaw in the show. Two completely different robots by two completely different builders.
2 different Lockjaws, 2 different Alan Youngs, 10 different Cyclones, 20 different Spin Doctors.
Don't even get me started how many Thors there are.
Yes.
Oh.
But yeah, I think I honestly thought Blacksmith had this match because it was getting a lot of blows in, and it looked like Bite Force was the weapon stopped. It looked like that was it for him.
I think the deciding factor though was that Bite Force looked a lot more controlled, and it was more the aggressor on Blacksmith, whereas Blacksmith. It waited to draw Bite Force in before hammering it, rather than chasing it down.
When you look at actual damage, like Blacksmith has a panel hanging off at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It also got stuck on the screws.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
AK, I consider this the first OOTA of the season.
TKOOTA.
TKOOTA. Yeah.
Can someone please get me down?
I think if Blacksmith was a little bit more aggressive and a little bit more controlled, they probably could have had the match. But yeah, it's a shame. But the good news is Blacksmith still has 3 more matches, so it has a good chance to get more points.
Yep.
Although judging
all right, so before we continue, I just want to say this right now. Watching this fight with my mother in the room was the funniest thing ever because, I mean, she really likes Al, and of course she's the one who kind of helped pay for my tuition, but she was flipping her shit the whole time. Like, you think I get excited for this sport? You should see her when she watches this show. It's unbelievable. I'll have to send a recording to you guys sometime or something.
Yeah, my mom was cheering on for Al too, but when she heard that Bite Force won, she went, ugh.
Yeah.
My parents are a lot more conservative when it comes to watching robot combat, although you should have seen my mom's reaction to the Series 10 Grand Final when it was announced that Eruption was champion. She flipped her lid. Yeah. She was so
happy. Parents really get into this.
Yeah, like my folks, they're down in Myrtle Beach and they watched it, and you can never tell if they're into it or not, because I know Dad like enjoys it sometime. Mom is on and off about it. Like, yeah, but hey, more viewers the better. We want to keep this show.
Yes.
We want to keep this show going until the end of time.
Alrighty.
But I will say that to finish this off, I will say that the fight itself was a really, really good fight to start the season off.
Yes.
Indeed.
Nice scrap.
I was expecting a split decision from the judges, not a 3-0 decision.
I don't know about that. Like, I mean, think of it this way: if all 3 judges decide that it was close, but Bite Force won, then it's still close, but it's going to be unanimous.
I think the ending bit was what topped it off.
Yeah.
When Bite Force just rammed it up on top of the screws. But,
yeah.
Oh well, we'll see Al again, and hopefully he'll be able to kick some more ass.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
So that covers the Bite Force versus Blacksmith fight. We're gonna talk about the robots, then talk about the match. Talk about the robots, talk about the match, and then we'll go from there. And Yeah, by force wins on the judge's decision via turning Blacksmith into a hat for the screws. And so we'll move on to some robots weren't able to make it into the main competition, so they decided to put them into some three-way rumbles as a little filler match for here and there.
Oh, but what good filler this was.
Oh, this was some great filler.
Oh, are we sure that they didn't make it into the main tournament?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
few machines didn't make it on there.
Yeah, free shipping Duck and Mecha, I mean.
Yep. This was
Really?
a three-way between free shipping, Mecha Rampage, and Duck.
Well, let's start off with Mecha Rampage.
Oh, what a wacky design this is.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
When I first I had to look at this thing for several minutes before I said, "Okay, what are you doing?"
I think he got the design off of a middleweight robot called Sweet back when he competed in Steel Conflict.
Yeah, it's like,
Unfortunately, Sweet didn't compete that well. I remember one fight, Sweet was facing Who's Your Daddy in one hit. Who's Your Daddy broke Sweet's weapon in one hit.
it's a very odd design. Like, basically...
It looks like it's doing the splits.
It's basically like it's got two weapon pods all the way out to the side, but in the middle, it's got like this spinning shell that spins underneath.
And the left and right sides are separately driven.
It's a fantastic design.
I at least understand the importance of it, as we'll talk about it when we get to the actual match, because, you know, in case like one part dies, the other two can still operate. So it's technically a cluster bot, but it's not.
Yeah.
Basically, 3 robots bolted together.
It's like if
I guess you
V3
could call
from
it
the
the,
Dutch series was just one machine and it never separated.
Yeah. I like it. And I will say when it caught up when it went up in flames, and then you could see the spinner going along with the flames,
man.
it looked fantastic.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I thought they could actually pull it off. If they survive, they have the damage advantage.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, no. That was incredible. Watching that fire tornado at the end.
yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
So, and this thing was built by Christian Carlberg of,
Yeah.
of all things. I was like, I did not expect this design from him. Like, I'm used to seeing stuff with wedges from him, like Overdrive and Minion and Overkill. But
He definitely has a whole lot of. Whenever he comes to BattleBots, he always has a new, different, crazy design up his sleeve.
Except this one is not a wedge.
Yeah,
I like to call it a big cake tray thing.
A
burnt cake.
It's a birthday cake on wheels, or in this case, a birthday cake. It's a birthday cake on a tray with wheels attached to it.
And candles.
Oh,
And
we'll
candles
talk to
to
the
flame
candles.
up.
So now let's move on to the second robot in this fight, Duck!
I refuse to quack.
Yeah. So here we got a robot going in the opposite direction of Carlberg. Really cool one last time.
I have one
Pedestrian
question.
wedge this time.
Sorry. I have one question about Duck, though. Is it Great Western?
Oh, come on.
Oh!
I'm pretty sure he is from California, isn't he?
I'm pretty sure he is, though. Though, when we say Great Western, usually means it's in the Welsh territory.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I don't think he's part Welsh.
Or Western England. I don't know.
If you've got any of the Apollo guys on there, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, Duck. Basically, this is Whoops from Robo Games, basically converted with a big lifty wedgy thing. Which,
you know what? You want to know what Duck reminds me of? Panic
Is it an
Attack.
animal?
Yeah,
Oh.
Really?
It reminds me of Panic Attack.
It's got a.
It's the way the little beak on the front works.
I'm actually astonished at how effective the beak was, because I look at it and it's like, it's so small. Like, I mean, when you compare it to Whoops' big wedge spike thing, and then you look at it, it's like that tiny little face you see sticking out of the.
It's just enough.
Just
enough.
Yeah, and plus the guy driving him. hands down, one of the best drivers, I think, in the sport. I mean, this thing somehow managed to beat Last Rites just by moving.
Not
Oh,
dying.
man, that fight. Whew.
Yeah.
That. And Mark was going crazy.
Mark.
Oh,
That's
Mark Elam.
Yeah, Mark Elam built Duck.
Oh.
No, he didn't. He
No,
was,
no.
the
Mark
commentator
Elam is
for-
the
Okay.
commentator who is going crazy.
I also gotta add this. From an engineering standpoint, I really like Duck just because of the fact that it's a milled billet of titanium. So that thing is durable.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, outside of the exposed wheels, that thing can take a huge amount of hits.
Yeah, I mean, it's so tiny, but it weighs the same as the rest of them, so it's, like, gotta be really dense.
Yeah. Kind of like another robot we'll talk about later, but yeah.
Yeah, Duck, really good driver, and right at the end, I think a lot of people really going in. They weren't big fans of Duck, but as soon as it was over, you could hear them chanting Duck right at the end.
The thing was over like gangbusters.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I gotta
I
say, I thought free shipping would take that simply because
I
it's,
know.
Original Sin with some stuff on it, and Original Sin just
Let's-
kicks everyone.
let's talk about free
Speaking of
shipping now,
free
shall we?
shipping-
Oh, my mom.
Sing it.
This is the song written for the Rumble, for BattleBots' honor and glory. They tried to kill me with a forklift. Hooray!
Yeah, so free shipping. This is driven by Gary Jin of Original Sin fame, hands down one of the best drivers of all time. and here he enters basically a forklift.
Or
Flamethrower.
Original
With a
Sin,
flamethrower.
but there's required to be a weapon.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
a couple of
take advantage of-
15-pounders
I will
had-
give him credit. I have to give him credit. He has probably one of the best themes in the whole event right now. Just a fire-breathing forklift, and it's just literally just themed after a packaging company. It's so
Beautiful.
mundane and so badass at the same time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I love
Yeah.
robots that look like things.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
I
I-
heard.
You know,
I heard
what
of-
would be a really cool idea? A robot that looks like a cheeseburger. Can you imagine if somebody
Oh.
entered a
Oh,
robot
that's
that looks
making
like
me
a cheeseburger?
hungry.
One
now.
can
Let's
only
get to that
dream.
when he appears the first time.
Yeah. So free shipping.
Yeah, well-
Basically, it's a giant forklift with a flamethrower, and I honestly thought it was gonna win this thing.
Oh yeah.
Until Duck unleashed its inner quackers and then just flipped it right over onto its side. And to free shipping's credit, it still kept going, even
Driving
though
on its side.
it managed to self right.
Yeah, that's the thing about Gary Jin. Like, it doesn't matter how many wheels he has. He can have, like, literally, if you're limping with one wheel, and he'll still find a way to beat you. Like,
Yeah.
that's how good of a driver.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was good. It was my pick to win, but then Duck came in and basically took both guys out at the end. So
Duck was my pick.
yeah,
So let's so yeah, this match. I don't know about you, but this match was straight fire.
I
Oh, yeah.
loved it. It was awesome.
Fantastic.
Mecha Rampage started spinning up. It hit Original Sin, took off one of the lifting forks. Then the magic smoke came out.
Yeah.
I love it.
One other thing I also noticed, both Free Shipping and Duck finished this match with each missing one wheel, so they were both fighting crippled, essentially.
Oh yeah, you got to give
Yeah.
credit to Mecha
Yeah.
for managing to rip a wheel off each of them.
That's resourcefulness.
Yeah. But yeah, so we had one robot that got tipped over, and, like, I'll give Free Shipping also credit. He managed to get himself back over, but Duck
Oh yeah.
survived, and then Mecha Rampage, well, just a blazing ball of fire.
I would love to see what the innards looked like after that.
Probably looked nice and
Oh,
probably looked like the inside of a burnt ice cream cake.
probably looked like my school's Robo Games entry.
Oh.
No offense to
Ah.
my classmates, but yeah, no, that the cheap Chinese brushless motors, just stay away from them.
Well, hey, next time don't get the ClashBots edition.
Oh, we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this right now. You can beg all you want. I'm not reviewing ClashBots.
Me neither. We may do King of Bots.
Oh,
we
sure.
may not.
King of Bots was a lot of fun, but ClashBots, I've lost my taste for KFC because of that show.
I was a Popeyes guy anyway. But yeah, that was the match. Duck got the win on a judge's decision after a well-timed flip on free shipping.
Although free shipping
almost
managed to
said
get back
original
up.
sin. Yeah.
So it's more than indefatigable.
Oh.
About 5 people will get that joke.
Yeah.
Nice. I saw a 15-pounder had a forklift too, but it surprisingly did well in the high school tournament. It even got one robot out of the arena.
Ooh. Nice.
Well, with
Yeah,
the thing
and
with-
John, who was announcing that fight, he added, "You're a winner by being a complete show-off."
I've got
One last thing about this fight before we move on. I am seriously sad that neither McMastercar or Amazon sponsored free shipping.
Well, yeah, I'm sure
Amazon,
somebody. I'm sure there's definitely going to be some McMaster sponsors in the show. But
Here's a little one thing I like about the forklift weapon, or as a weapon, is that you can not only lift, but you can also pin and push your opponents.
Yeah.
It's a very effective weapon, kind of like the big cheese in Series 3 of Robot Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only thing they have to make sure is that, especially with the forklift like free shipping you have to make your robot be able to run inverted, which I feel like was the big problem with him. He had that big cage on the back, which I feel like if he didn't have that, he'd have an easier time running inverted.
Yeah, I mean, they kind of make up for it. It's designed as such that when it's on its side, it just flails around and eventually falls back right way up.
Yeah.
yeah, that covers the Rumble basically. Duck gets the decision and bragging rights and possibly some trendings on Twitter.
Also,
Speaking of,
Yes.
let's move on to this third match. And
this match was huge.
yes, ladies and gentlemen, the robot gods have in fact graced us, because at long last we have on BattleBots the one, the only, the legendary
It's never going to be another robot like it. This is going to be huge. Believe me. Yes, you have no idea the amount of Donald Trump memes that were flying around when this robot was first announced.
Yes. So here's the story behind Huge. I was at the Franklin Institute event in 2015, which ironically Sub-Zero was also there on display. And I'm looking through the pits because I like to look around the pits, and I see a big pair of UH&W wheels that look exactly like Gabriel's, and I'm thinking, gee, I wonder what design they're going for. I wonder what design they're going with. And Motorama a little ways later, I find that they have made this huge looking design with big UHMW wheels and a spinning blade right smack in the center. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like I remember years ago there was a robot called Harold that it was basically 4 big legs with wheels on each end and a spinning blade in the middle.
Was that a Craig Callias design?
No, it was American.
No, but
it sounds like the name makes me think of Craig Callias because he names his robots after angels.
no.
Yep.
Yeah. Harold Builder was actually my mentor in fighting robots. So.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Does
So,
it,
and also
his
the guy
name?
who introduced me to my current school. He's currently happily married and has a baby. So congratulations to him.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
No,
who is
it's
he?
no S.
Yeah, but Huge. There's like actually several versions of it. There's obviously the original 30-pound version. There's the Beetleweight version, Tiny Huge, which is a little smaller, and this is the Big Daddy, the big, huge,
Really huge, I believe
big
the name
McLarge
of
Huge.
It's the difference is that the 30-pound robot is simply called Huge, while this one's called Huge in all caps. That's it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
the
they're
big
probably
subtle.
going to be asked to change the 30-pounder's name.
You don't have to. I mean,
Well, I don't know. Like BattleBots likes to be like exclusive and stuff, and they wouldn't really love it if they were, if people were getting the misimpression that Huge, the Huge was at Motorama.
Tiny huge. Slightly huge.
Not so huge.
Big McLarge huge.
Yeah.
Medium huge.
Yeah, but I love this. Is one of my favorite robots ever.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
didn't the guy who built it said he was inspired by Gabriel?
I'm
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
sure it did. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what he said to me when I saw him at Franklin. He showed me the huge wheels, and he was like, "You ever heard of this obscure robot from Robot Wars called Gabriel?"
Oops, yeah.
Yeah, and I thought, yeah, this project's not going anywhere. Whatever.
But
Yeah.
It's so good that Tommy Brewster from Toron made his own.
yeah, he's got his own. It's like a black. It's a big black huge.
Oh, no.
Careful.
Big black
Yeah,
huge
but-
what?
it's huge, but it's edgier.
Huge, but it's an edgelord.
Yeah.
But like the thing is, when I first saw Huge at Motorama 2015, I was thinking, okay, this is definitely going to be a joke robot. And then what does it do? It manages to win second place in its first outing, because no one could hit it.
Yeah, that's the real key about these kinds of designs, because all like any impact that you try to hit, it goes right to the wheels, and the actual body of the robot is up in the air, and you really can't do anything or hit anything.
The only robot that
it's
beat
ingenious.
it was the eventual champion Megatron, and that's only because he has an arm that can raise into the air.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and for those who don't go to local Pennsylvania events, I know, crazy to think that people don't. Huge is like a big fan favorite. They got people in the stands screaming and squeaking these little squeaking things.
Yeah. It's like it
I'd
makes
love it if my running gag was that a huge crowd cheered for me.
Yeah.
Wonder how I
It's like
that.
it's like wrestling. It's
Yeah,
like in wrestling where certain wrestlers have different pieces of merchandise.
It
Oh, yeah.
almost it almost makes it sound like whenever Huge is in the arena and it sounds like they're booing. No, they're not booing. They're saying Huge.
It's never mind. I'm not gonna go there. It's a hockey story. We've already spent enough time rambling about Huge. Let's talk about that other robot in the fight. Sub-Zero, I think its name was.
Sub-Zero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another
good robot,
nurker.
but it never gets screen time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just.
I do feel kind of bad for Sub-Zero. I mean, the thing is, Sub-Zero is a pneumatic flipper. This is literally the single worst robot he could possibly fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, his middleweight version did really well. I believe he won the middleweight championship at Motorama 2004.
Yeah, that was the only time they had a middleweight division.
Yeah.
I think
But-
I think they also did one in 2003, but after that, no more after that.
Yeah, I mean, to credit, I've seen it up close, and it's a beautiful looking robot. It's got the flipper, it's got the little side Shremex. It looks awesome, but
Yeah.
unfortunately, it just faced a robot it just couldn't get, and they put a lot of add-ons on it, like these big horns and these weird things coming off it. Didn't help it, and as an end result, Huge just went ahead and just ripped the flipper off, ripped the arms off, just made a complete mess of it.
There's not really much to this match. It was Huge just straddling and squashing poor Sub-Zero.
Yeah.
I think this was on Facebook. He later admitted that he actually had some heavy back armor that he wished he used instead.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Hindsight's always 20/20.
Yeah.
Yep.
But, yeah, no, this match, it was entertaining, but literally it was just Huge curb stomping Sub-Zero.
Just if I'm gonna make the obligatory wrestling reference. If you want to know what this matches look like, just Google Seth Rollins curb stomp. You'll get the result.
Burn it down.
Well, I
mean, as much as I like Huge, one little issue I had with it, it just seems, because of the size and the fact that it doesn't have the treads, it looked like it seemed kind of slow, didn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
did
that's the only way to
so,
keep
yeah.
it from skidding around.
the HDPE
that
is
thing
not
had-
getting much traction on that arena floor.
it was sliding all over the place, too, so, but I'm starting to think that may have been intentional.
Mm.
But I'm not
Yeah, I
100%
mean, it was
Adds to its
reasonably well
unpredictability.
controlled, in spite of being slow.
This just in, my folks have arrived home from Myrtle Beach, and they're picking up KFC for dinner.
Oh no!
For real? Are you serious?
Yep, they're picking up the let's hope they don't find any dead rats or dead bots in that chicken.
Ugh, ugh.
And they just texted me saying they're puking. They found a severed finger in the chicken.
Wow.
Oh shit.
Oh,
Hopefully it
God.
wasn't
that
chopped
thing is-
off by
can't tell if
Metabite
you're
or something.
joking or that's real.
Oh, it's true. It's damn true.
Ugh.
Oh well.
No.
Make sure.
Yeah.
Now we got it on evidence. We'll have to submit this recording.
Yeah.
What I mean?
But Huge versus Sub-Zero. It's
Not much to say about this.
it was a
match.
frosty reception.
Uh,
So now we move on to the penultimate main fight, and perhaps the weakest in the episode.
Yeah.
Bombshell versus Lockjaw.
Yeah, it's a
Dang.
shame because like Bombshell, it's a good. Mike Jeffries is hands down one of the best robot builders in the sport, and
yeah.
Bombshell, people give it flack because it lost its first match and managed to derp its way past Minotaur, and it's like,
Well, there's
you know
nothing
what?
derpy about it. They knew exactly what they were doing.
it wasn't a derp.
They beat.
If you manage to get a KO on Minotaur,
They-
it's a
Hey,
KO.
they managed to cheese Cobalt too.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was a straight up slicing right through the wheels. It's fantastic, and unfortunately, I think because of time, the vertical spinner. I don't know if they have the pocket.
Oh,
knife,
they don't.
They don't.
I
It's
was
just
actually
vertical
talking to
spinner.
them on Facebook this morning. It's all spinner this time.
Yeah, and it's a shame.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, because it went up against Lockjaw, which is which also now has a vertical spinning weapon, but it still has the little lifting forks from the original Lockjaw. So it's basically what would you do if you combined Witch Doctor with Yeti, just spinning disc with lifting forks on it.
Uh-huh.
I was gonna say Hypershock.
Or something like that.
Kind of notice about Lockjaw though. I think outside of an old Sawbot he built, I think this is the first real spinner that Donald Hudson's ever built. I mean, I could be wrong.
For some reason, I always felt like Tazbot was kind of a spinner, like the top
Oh,
part kind of
It's
spins
not
around.
really.
Yeah. At the time, it was as good as your average spinner.
Yeah.
That was more
But,
of a lifting pickaxe thing.
Spinny, lifty, pickaxe.
Spin-
Yeah.
It was
Spiky lifty thingy.
Yeah. But yeah, Bombshell. All I can really say about the match is Bombshell ended up doing the thing.
yeah, he
Not
finished
this thing.
match upside down.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I gotta say that I kind of liked the other Bombshell better.
I think if they had managed to finish it and had used the interchangeable weaponry gimmick, I think they probably would have put on the big horizontal blade and probably
Yes,
would have used it
yes.
to tear up the tires. But
Most of this it was just Bombshell doing the thing, as we say in the Northeast.
at least, Mike Jeffries, he's a good sport. He actually asked, "Come on, hit me again. Keep the match going. We want to do it for TV." And
Well, he could have had more than one motivation for asking to be unflipped.
Yeah, it's just, can you help me? I'm kind of stuck here. Thanks.
Mike, if you're watching this, I do not endorse Nate's ribbing.
well, yeah, well, he's once he builds his own robot, he's going to be going full.
Hey,
he's going to be going full blown Craig Danby.
What,
Not
losing all the
really.
time?
Oh!
Oh,
I'm gonna start with a kit bot, and then I'm gonna slowly start learning CAD eventually.
So basically, you're gonna
Yeah, when are we
Yeah.
gonna see your bot, Nate?
yeah, he's already got Too Far Away in the works right now.
Uh-huh.
Mm.
Actually, I have the perfect name for my first robot.
Yeah,
Go on.
Instructions sold separately.
there you go. Perfect.
So basically,
Nice.
So you think you're gonna have it ready for Bot Blast in July?
Well, it depends. Like, I'm not employed full-time yet, but I need, like, a shopping guide for getting a good kit bot.
Yeah, well. By the way, this episode is in fact sponsored by kitbots.com, botkits.com, KFC, and Black Lagoon,
That's strange. I don't
about
recall
Finger
getting
Tech?
free stuff from any of them.
and FingerTech. I don't know.
Anyway.
pick up your official banana
Yeah,
scale before they
there
run
wasn't
out.
There wasn't really much to this match. We pretty much said everything we need to say about Lockjaw and Bombshell.
Yeah, there's not. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
well, these
basically-
matches make you appreciate the good ones more.
Before we continue, though.
What's up?
We have 3 robots that look incredibly similar this season. Lockjaw, Hypershock, and Yeti. All have
Yeah.
either some kind of prong or lifting device with either discs or a drum in the middle. And they're all 4-wheel drive.
I guess people just fell in love with Yeti or something. That they felt the need to just have little forks that go underneath everybody and just hit the disc. And
I was
it
just
makes
going to say
sense.
that they're just, in general, a lot of tiny drumlets this season.
Yeah.
And, in fact, so many.
Reality.
I kind of went on a
Effective.
rant about how
Hypershock.
they should have taken Sharkorpion instead.
Oh yeah.
And now that I know that the 3 in this Rumble aren't in, I think free shipping and Mecha should have been in.
I wonder if after Lockjaw's fight, it'll be something if he makes it to the final 16 to the single elimination round. That'll be good.
Yeah?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I mean, he did beat Ray with last rites in one event in 2005, and he came in second place, but lost to Brutality in the final, I believe.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know. His, I don't know, was it Dissector? Would that have been?
It was Root Canal, I believe.
Yeah, that's like a heavyweight version of Dissector, kind of, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well, without the
Yeah.
hammers.
Right.
It didn't. Yeah, with no hammers, just the grabbers, right?
Yep.
And a wedge.
All right.
Gotta have that wedge. It's like everyone must have a spinner. They must have a wedge.
Yep. So are we going to go ahead and talk about the main event now?
Hell yeah!
Oh, boy, yeah.
Oh, yes. Now, I gotta say this right now. I like what they're doing with the way they're booking these episodes. Like, I know people who were upset they didn't get to see Tombstone versus Minotaur last season, but so the producers decided, okay, let's make this the main event. The 2 of the most destructive robots of season 2, Tombstone, Minotaur, the evil genius Ray Billings against the crazy Brazilians of Minotaur.
There's not much we can say about Tombstone that hasn't already been said other than, oh my god, Ray Billings is such a good heel.
Yeah, he's in full blown bad guy mode.
Like
right
his did you guys hear his evil laugh?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I have a distinct feeling that if there's anyone who's going to die in this sport, it's going to be to one of Ray Billings' robots.
Yeah. They really do a good job booking him as the bad guy. Like in midway through the commercial break, they actually had a little what the hell is it? A little promo with Ray.
Small promo package.
Small promo. They show him bringing in Tombstone on this little remote controlled tracked.
Oh,
It
yeah,
looks like
I love
Judge
that.
It looked like
Yeah.
Judge Mech, that robot that failed to qualify for Robot Wars.
It looks awesome, and that they cut to all the robot builders who are looking at him like
Give us a stink eye.
disgusting.
Oh, yeah.
The stink eye.
Yeah, we
Two
got...
of which.
Speaking of
Yeah,
that robot
like-
platform, we know where all the prize money went.
Oh!
Yeah, it's awesome, and it's like I've said this many times. They BattleBots is booking their episodes better than WWE has booked any of their shows in the past 5 years.
Oh, that is something I should know because I went to Backlash. Ugh.
I know. WWE Backlash, which had the WWE Championship match in the middle of the show, which ended in a no contest, and you had a main event with no title on the line between Roman Reigns and Samoa Joe, which was about 10 minutes of Samoa Joe just laying in a chin lock, a rest hold, just sitting there, laying there doing nothing.
Let's get back on topic.
Yes, please, because I don't want to talk about Backlash again.
But yeah,
I feel so sorry for you.
I mean, they did a good job with the Team Riobots' promo package too, but just the way they're booking Ray Billings, man, I'd be afraid of him.
Yeah, you know what? It's like in real life, he's the nicest guy in the world, but it's like he's built a machine that is just so evil, so destructive, and so frightening. That like whenever someone tells you you're facing last rites or you're facing Tombstone, you're like, shit.
Yeah.
He's all nice and friendly when he's in the pits, but when he's in the arena, or rather when he's on camera, he smashes your robot to bits.
Oh yeah. Again with the references that everyone will get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When it comes to Ray, it's either he wins completely or he only wins partially. Because
Yep.
no matter, even if you win, you still have a crap ton of damage to repair.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, spoiler alert, he won this match. But let's talk about this match because there is actually quite a lot to say about this.
This fight.
Yeah.
Oh my god. This was the main event we came for.
This was the best match of the night.
Minotaur was just getting tossed around the arena like a frisbee.
Yeah.
Minotaur was actually my pick to win this fight because I've seen Toro Maximus versus Last Rites, and I thought that we might see a replica of that. But
Well, you thought wrong.
Yeah,
it's
the
like,
Buccaneers tend to do well against horizontals.
Yeah, before this fight, me and my parents were taking predictions. All three of us went for Tombstone.
yeah, I think the thing is, you look at a Minotaur and you look at a Tombstone. It's so small. I'm astonished at how small it is compared to Tombstone.
The big man squashed the little guy.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was like Tombstone was just tearing pieces off of it, completely killed the drum.
Took out the floor.
Let's talk about that. Because
Will Thomas, you have met your match in terms of destroying the arena.
yeah, there's a gimmick that we have at Robo Games where Last Rites always loves to absolutely take chunks out of the arena and take chunks out of the floor. And whenever that happens, Dave is like, thanks, Ray. And then so Tombstone ends up doing this to the arena floor. And Minotaur is beaten not by the spinning blade of Tombstone, but by the hole in the floor that Tombstone took a chunk out.
Yeah. I have to kind of laugh because if you look at where Minotaur was, there were 3 gashes in the floor right next to each other. If you look closely, there were 3 gashes right next to each other.
Yeah, and I almost thought it looked like they were about to make a comeback because they were able to get underneath Tombstone.
They got their drum
away.
working.
They got the drum working again, and then they just end up gyroing right up on top of the tear on the floor.
And Ray Billings gets the comment of the night. Sorry about your floor. He is so great.
Ray, I guess he just had to remind everyone who's champ.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he also gets the second best comment of the night. Just before he presses the button, you can audibly hear him say, "I love this sport."
Oh yeah, such a heel
He
thing
is.
to say.
He is.
I love this.
He is awesome. He is hands down the best character in robot combat sports today, I think. Close second, I would say, is Tim from Concussion.
And a close third to me is John Reed.
Yes.
And here's hoping that Ray will compete at the next Motorama event with Soylent Green again. That will be cool.
Yeah.
I'm sure he will, and he'll have to have a Sharpie ready because he'll probably have autographs galore everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking
Yeah,
of,
bring your own
actually,
Sharpie if you want an autograph.
I actually had him sign a little picture for Nate.
Yeah,
here.
I still have to find. I have to hang it up. That's the thing.
I saw it over on the table there. I
Yeah.
don't know what happened to it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's around.
Yeah, it's around.
Yeah, but this was a fantastic match, and
Oh yeah.
Minotaur was my pick to win this whole show, but now I'm not so sure.
Yeah, like
Is there anyone that can beat Tombstone? That's the
I
question.
think one thing to say about Tombstone, they have a rule now where you have to turn your weapon down to under 250 miles an hour, and Tombstone, I actually think it looks much more stable now that the weapon is slower, because the big thing about having these big spinners that spin at such high, fast speeds, they get unstable, and unfortunately that's what's cost Last Rites a lot of its matches, is that it does damage to robots, but then it does damage to itself.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
actually, the second time we just watched this episode a second time, was the blade of Tombstone actually lopsided?
I think it was.
It looked like it was
It's-
going down.
Yeah, it looked
Looked
like
like it.
they got it off center.
Yeah, that's why it was making all the divots. Because
Yeah,
like,
I
if
don't
it's working
know,
properly, you obviously don't want it to be doing that.
Yeah.
yeah, that was weird, but
Yeah, Minotaur just got shredded though. Like huge amount of chunks are being torn off the sides. I was legitimately impressed.
yeah. But well, Minotaur still has 3 more matches to go, so we'll see if they can repair the damage and see if they can see how well they can do, if they can make it through. You never know, but there are a lot of good robots this year, but so far Minotaur was the robot that I thought could take Tombstone out, and unfortunately it wasn't to be. So
I think
yeah.
the only way Ray's going to lose this thing is if Gary Jin decides screw this and just puts original Sin in the arena.
Yeah.
Or if Duck gets a main.
Oh, or Duck's not in the main series either, is it?
I don't know. I don't know what the deal is.
Actually, I just realized Stinger's not in the series. Matt's not in this.
No.
Oh yeah, that's right.
He's another
Yeah.
guy.
So
that's
you're
really-
just
gonna
wanted-
need something really solid.
Yeah, he just wanted to focus on robo games, and glad he did well at that event.
Yeah, it was tough, but
Yeah. If only he had got Toro Maximus out of the arena, that would have been a repeat of 2009.
he should have just left him there on the wall. He would have won.
Yeah,
But,
that's what I
he's-
would have
he's
done. if I
trying to
was
be
him.
both sportsman, showmany and sportsmanlike. And I wanted to keep the match going. Unfortunately, yeah. Like it's tricky. Especially like Robo games. Like I ended up taking 4th place at the last Robo games. I should have won the last match, I think.
Oh.
But
But
yeah.
we're not going to get into that.
I don't. I was gonna have a whole Robo Games report at the beginning of this episode, but then I decided no. But I will say this though: I posted the video of Mondo Bizarro versus Minnie Maloney to the Facebook page, and it turned into an entire episode of Fight Court. Like, oh, the drum spinner should have won because it was more damaging. Oh, the wedge should have won because it was more controlling. And it's like, holy crap. But yeah, that's a different episode of Fight Court for another day. But by the way, Mr. Psycho actually did pick the drum spinner for Mondo for winning the match. So yeah, but that pretty much covers the first episode of Robo Games, BattleBots Season 8/3, and real solid first episode, I thought.
Oh my! This
That was
is
a fantastic
this is gonna be.
way to start
It was a
sick.
great way to start the series.
Yeah, there was a lot of good matches. The pacing was very quick. I mean, like we said, the problem with the last 2 seasons was that there was too much talking. The pacing was very slow. This blew by.
Oh
Yeah.
It really did.
And not just because I fast forwarded through the commercials.
I know, right?
Yeah. Well, you shouldn't have. You would have missed that Ray Billings promo.
No, did I? Huh. I got the hex bugs thing, but I might have missed
yeah.
that one.
One observation I do want to make though, about the intro. I love how the first person you see in the intro is oh wait, no, I already said this. That I love how the first person you see in the intro is Tommy Brewster.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of familiar faces there. You see Tim, you see Ed Robinson of Snookums fame there going, "I love steel," which I'm so disappointed Sharkaprian didn't end up in the main series, but he is in the bonus battle, and we will be covering the bonus battle when we do a review of the second episode, because it airs on Wednesday with the bonus match. Sharkaprian.
We already said this.
Yeah, we did. But yeah.
There is something though that I do want to discuss before we get into our final rating.
Yep.
And that was something that happened on the aforementioned ClashBots, because there was a robot on ClashBots that was an almost 1-to-1 copy of Apollo from the robot.
It basically is Apollo.
And this prompted a whole discussion and debate on the unofficial Robot Wars group about, copying robots and what have you. This is my take on the matter. I am not against the idea of copying a design from another robot. But that said, if you're going to, do a straight-up copy, make sure that you have the consent of the original Roboteer first. Like, for example, Alex Brown of TR2, he has a miniature version of Terahertz called Tiny Hertz. he actually contacted John Reed to get the CAD plans for terahertz to see if he could scale it down to a much smaller machine. And at one of the more recent Extreme Robot events, there was a featherweight version of Roadblock. I believe the name of it is like Street Barrier or something. And that Roboteer got permission from Hender Blewett to make the featherweight Roadblock. And when it comes to copying designs, look, we had Gravedigger and people accused it of being a Cassius clone. You have no idea of how many people called Tiberius or Rock's Razor clones. But here's the thing with those designs. They made those designs their own. Like, how many wedge flippers are there in the United Kingdom?
100?
Exactly. But each one has its own unique identity. Manta is radically different than Iron Awe 6, which is radically different from TR2, which is radically different from Eruption. Each machine has its own unique look and personality. What ClashBots did was the worst thing you could do when building a robot, taking the lazy way out. Rather than taking an existing design and putting their own unique spin on it, like, say, Saber did, they just took everything from the aesthetics to the paint job, slapped some extra spikes on it, and called it an original machine. Please, for every Roboteer out there, don't be like ClashBots.
That should be a PSA.
Yeah.
Don't be like ClashBots.
Yeah, the other thing about it is that, it's one thing if you're scaling it down to like an insect or featherweight level. This is a TV show you're making.
Yeah, I know.
Like, this applies, it's one thing for insects and feathers, like, it should, but it's not required. But you should not be doing this level of blatant copying for a TV show. I don't care who you are. Add some kind of element to make it your own that isn't just a paint swap.
Although I guess we can let it slide for Tommy Brewster's own version of Huge, which is called Straddle.
Straddle! Oh my goodness.
Okay, so it's not the Edgelord version, it is the Gimp version then.
It's an Edgelord name, though.
Yeah.
Actually, that's a gymnast name. Like, I'll send you the image.
It basically, it looks like it's got film reel tires, and it's painted black, and it's got the Toron eye. It looks cool, but yeah. But yeah, that pretty much covers this first episode of season 8/3. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'll give it an 8.
I'll give it an 8 too. I'd give it a 9, but the Bombshell Lockjaw match kind of brought it down a peg.
How about you guys, Joey? On a scale of 1 to 10,
I would give it a 10. All fights were good. Well, as you mentioned, the Lockjaw and Bombshell may be the weakest, but I find every fight enjoyable and can't wait for more fights.
Yep. Ian?
I'll go 9. I'm not going to be as harsh. I'm only deducting 1 point for Bombshell Lockjaw.
Yeah. And Ryan Beaver?
I'm going to give it a 8.5. I was going to give it a 9. 1 point for the Lockjaw fight, but there's one other issue I would like to cover. I took off half a point because the music was really loud. The sound editing needs some work.
Yeah, the sound mixing was a little off.
They need to turn the music down just a little bit so you can actually hear the people talking when they actually need to talk. But everything else was spot on. The fights were entertaining. The hosts were fantastic. The editing was really good.
Yeah, it was solid overall.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, this time around, Chris and Kenny have really upped their game.
Yep. And I definitely look forward to seeing. They don't have a card for the second episode yet. They actually had a card for the first episode.
Yeah, we don't know what's going on in the second one. Once we do know, we should probably start asking for guests.
Yeah,
we do know that it's Witch Doctor and Yeti are gonna at some point be in that episode. Check the preview. I checked the preview on like Xfinity. That's what they said.
Yeah. And also, just a little shout out just to help sponsor the show. Just make sure to make sure to keep an eye out for the bonus rumble on the Shines channel next Wednesday at 9 for Kraken, Sharkorpion, and Deviled Egg as a bonus fight.
Oh, yeah.
Quick, Nate, say something stupid. I'm losing it.
Get these hands.
Get these hands. Until next week, I am the Hardcore Kid.
And I'm Otaku Nate.
I'm Ryan, the nerd.
I'm Ian. Subscribe to my channel.
I'm Joey.
And any last plugs?
Well, my channel, ResettisReplicas, which Brandon will put in the description, right?
Yes.
Thank you.
Until next time, guys. Peace out.
Bye.
Let the bot battle begin.
Let the bodies hit the floor.
Let the bodies hit the...